On today's DVD Blu Ray update, DVDs, Criterions, upgrades, and much more. Hello everybody, K-Dog here, and it's a long overdue Blu-ray and DVD update because stuff is starting to pile up big time. And matter of fact, I usually stack everything right here. Well, the stack is so tall, it would just topple over. So it's on the floor right next to me, and it stands, just underneath the table here. So got a lot of stuff. And we're going to start things off with a Criterion. We have Billy Wilder's The Ace in the Hole, starring Kirk Douglas, about a guy who gets trapped in a burial vault. He's trapped in a vault, and it's in a mountain. And Kirk Douglas plays this reporter for the newspaper. And he's there trying to report on the case, trying to get this guy out. And it, of course, gets broadcast on the radio, and the media makes it a whole big frenzy and the whole big celebration. And it entails what it actually kind of shows where we are today in terms of the media and the news about how we don't take things really seriously, that a person's life is at stake, and we like to make a big celebration out of it. But yeah, Billy Wilder's Ace in the Hole, it's a nice addition. It has both the DVD and the Blu-ray in it, as well as, a nice little... This is what's really neat, is that, Criterion puts out, essays and things like that. Well, in this case, they actually did it. This movie is about the media, and of course they put it out as a newspaper. And the essays are written in the newspaper print. Noir in broad daylight. Chin up for mother. Even has continued on page 1. There's even an advertisement for a thing that's in an event that's in the movie, called the Rattlesnake Hunt. So yeah, Ace in the Hole. Next up is a DVD that I don't know if it'll ever come to Blu-ray. It may, I don't know, because it was kind of a box office disappointment, but it's Spielberg, and I don't think you can go wrong there. But it's the film 1989. Yeah, 1989 Steven Spielberg directed flick Always, starring Richard Dreyfuss, John Goodman, and Holly Hunter. Now, this is actually a remake, believe it or not. This was based on an old United Artists released film called A Guy Named Joe, and Spielberg took that screenplay and reinvented it and called it Always. Next up is another Criterion. I got a lot of Criterions, by the way, so just bear with me. I got Otto Preminger's Anatomy of a Murder with James Stewart. Let's see, Lee Remick, however you say his name. Arthur O'Connell, Eve Arden, Catherine Grant. So yeah, there you go. And this is just the Blu-ray edition. Next up, I upgraded my copy of Apollo 13. upgraded to Blu-ray. The downside to this is it's not the deluxe edition where it had the original theatrical cut and the IMAX version, which was significantly different in time. The original theatrical cut ran 2 hours and 20 minutes, while the IMAX version ran only 90 minutes. This is the theatrical cut only, and it comes with the DVD and the digital copy, in which it's the same DVD edition I had. So yeah, it's still a good movie, even though I would like to have had the IMAX version as well, and because it would have been, differently edited for time. And the reason behind that is because IMAX at the time, they were just wanting to get into Hollywood movies, and the platter systems, their film platter systems, they didn't have any digital systems back then. Their film platter systems could only hold a 90-minute film. They couldn't hold anything over 90 minutes. And now they can handle, I think, up to 3 hours, I believe. I'm not quite sure how that works, but yeah. Apollo 13. Next up is one of these double feature Blu-rays. I got A League of Their Own and The Natural. So yeah, there you go. Upgraded my copy of Black Hawk Down. I put this in here because I make my Blu-ray DVD combo packs, and I didn't really think about, if they have these little in the DVD, if they had these little inserts. Kind of want to keep those because those are neat little things. It's not like Criterion based, but there's a little bit of trivia about the making of the movie. There's some pictures and stuff like that. It's just a little something to look at. Now, next up, I picked this up at a gas station, and you see these all the time. They're Mill Creek, the Mill Creek movie collections, and it's one called Criminally Clueless, and it has the films. These are all films released by Disney at one time, and for some reason Disney gave up the rights to all these films because they weren't really necessarily box office hits. They were just kind of moderate to unsuccessful hits. And it has the films Disorganized Crime, Another Stakeout, Fatherhood, Oscar, Taking Care of Business, Mafia, The Crew, and Big Trouble. So yeah. And of course, they put them all in 2 DVDs, 4 movies per disc. Next up is, a movie that's not everybody, was critically panned when it originally came out. And it's a guy's movie. It's total fun to watch this movie. And it's Nicolas Cage's Con Air, with John Malkovich as well, and John Cusack. Yeah, just fun to watch, Jerry Bruckheimer type of movie. Actually, it's not type, but it is Jerry Bruckheimer movie, but... Next up, another Criterion. Now, I had never seen this movie until when I got this, and I thought, this is a really good movie. Even though it's a coming-of-age story taking place in the 1970s, particularly 1976, and it's just, you could relate to some of this, but it's has a lot to do with the drugs and being in high school in the 70s. It's Dazed and Confused, directed by Richard Linklater. Has I don't want to say an all-star cast, but a lot of people got famous after this movie, and you know, like Matthew McConaughey's in here. Let's see who else. And of course, Criterion, they gotta load it down pretty good. So it actually comes with a book that they slip inside. Let's see who's in it. And that's the nice thing. Criterion lists the cast and crew. Has Jason London, Joey Lauren Adams, Mila Jovovich, Sean Andrews, Roy Cochran, Adam Goldberg, Anthony Rapp, Sasha Jensen, Marissa Ribisi, Dina Martin, Michelle Brook, Cole Hauser, Christine Harnos, Wiley Wiggins, Mark Vanderbillen, Esteban Powell, Jeremy Fox, Ben Affleck, Jason O. Smith, Kristen Hanojoda. I'm sorry. Sorry about that interruption, but Jason O. Smith, Kristen Hanojoda, Parker Posey, Matthew McConaughey, Christine Morris, and Nikki Katt. And just, just all kinds of things about, just 1976. And also, it comes with a poster, which was what they actually used for the theater. The film was not a big hit. It eventually became a hit in screening, like after screenings and, like in home video. It's one of those movies where actually it found its fame after its theatrical release. And, yeah, Dazed and Confused. And I would say I would probably prefer the Criterion edition over the Universal Blu-ray, even though they are cheaper. But you're going to get, with Criterions, you get what you pay for. And, next up, upgraded my copy of Flashdance. Got the Blu-ray edition. I did keep the DVD. It's in here underneath, the ultraviolet code. The next Criterion involves a movie that just came out this summer. How about the original Godzilla? Now, the interesting thing about this Criterion is it has the original Japanese film, which was titled Gojira in Japan. And it also has the American version, which was titled Godzilla King of the Monsters. And, it has a huge... Both films are completely remastered in high def. I got the Blu-ray edition. Now, Walmart is selling the Criterion DVD, and they're selling it for $5. That's okay if you're just wanting DVD, but I wanted the Blu-ray edition. So if you're wanting the Blu-ray edition at Walmart, tough luck, you will not get it. Now, it comes with, just a little booklet. Inside it has a few little essays. And also, we open it up, and there's a nice little pop-up there of Godzilla himself. Next up, a few Walmart pickups. Got iRobot in this nice little slipcover edition, but it's just a little slipcover. And these are like the Father's Day slipcovers. They came out with the limited edition of several movies. and they were 20th Century Fox titles. I think there was a few MGM titles in there as well. So there's iRobot. Now the next three are complete upgrades. I got In the Heat of the Night. Was looking for Blu-ray in the first place, but I finally found it at Barnes & Noble. Next is The Invasion of the Body Snatchers. This is the 1978 version with Donald Sutherland. Very good. And The Magnificent Seven, the 50th anniversary edition. Yeah, very nice. I even took the little card in there that had, for the celebration, the 90th anniversary of MGM. So, yeah, there we go. Now, the next one is also an upgrade and a Criterion. It's Robert Altman's Nashville. I got the DVD several years ago, and was made in 1975. It's about all these people living in Nashville, Tennessee, and their affiliation with the country music industry, and as well as politics. So, yeah, Nashville. Next up is another Criterion, Stanley Kubrick's Paths of Glory with Kirk Douglas. Yeah. And I also got... I'm not a big fan of Roland Emmerich, even though I do think he has some entertaining movies. But when you see a film like Independence Day, you really enjoy it, or Day After Tomorrow, kind of in that vein. But his Godzilla was terrible. In 2012. Yeah, that's okay. But this one I think is one of his better films. The Patriot with Mel Gibson. Yeah, I think this is one of his better films. Very good movie. Also has Heath Ledger, Jolie Richardson, Jason Isaacs, Chris Cooper, Rene Auberjonois from MASH, and Tom Wilkinson. Now this one I'm really kind of stoked to have, really, because it's just a massive Criterion, and Criterion doesn't put out too many of these. It was a little bit pricey, but you know what, I got it anyway, and it's the classic film Red River, directed by Howard Hawks, starring John Wayne. I mean, this is a massive Criterion. You don't see them do this anymore, hardly. It comes... Let's see. It comes with 2 DVDs and 2 Blu-rays. Sorry, I'm hit the mic. Mainly being that there's 2 different versions of the movie, and Criterion was willing to go through all the trouble of putting both versions on both DVD and Blu-ray. So, yeah, you have the theatrical cut, and you have what's it called, the pre-release cut, which is significantly different than the theatrical cut. And it, of course, comes with your standard Criterion booklet with pictures and essays And also, let me put this back in the box so I don't lose it. It also comes with this. Blazing Guns on the Chisholm Trail, which is a book written by Borden Chase. And I think this is the book, the novel. Let me see here. Let me reread this. I should have done this before I actually made the video, but yeah, it's what I thought it is. It's a reprint of the original book that Red River is based on. Yeah, it's in this book. I guess is long out of print, but Criterion was willing to republish this book. I mean, you don't see Criterion do something like this too often. I mean, that's thick. Next up, I got the unrated version, the recently unrated director's cut of RoboCop. Downside to this, my Blu-ray player is having a little trouble playing this Blu-ray for some reason. But yeah, it's the director's cut of the original RoboCop. I have not seen the new RoboCop. I heard it's terrible. Plus, when you take a movie like RoboCop, which back in the 80s was rated R, that's by 1980 standards, and you remake it with a PG-13 by today's standards, come on, you're in trouble. Next up is the wonderful biblical epic based on Roma Downey and Mark Burnett's film or TV miniseries, The Bible. We have The Son of God, which they basically took the majority of the stuff they shot for the Bible miniseries, put it onto film with some additional material, and it's and now if you have the Bible miniseries, why bother picking this up? Well, it's completely different. It has a totally different perspective, even though they're using the same footage and things like that, but it's told differently. While the Bible miniseries was told from more of a historic perspective, you have Keith David narrating, and he's telling it as history. This one actually comes from the point of view of the disciple John, and it's from his perspective, so that makes it a personal take. There's also some additional footage shot exclusively for this movie. Actually, I take that back. There was some additional material that they incorporated that they originally shot, but they couldn't present it for probably a little bit too graphic for television. And, of course, just time allotted. Yeah, Son of God. Next up is Taken. Again, in this Father's Day slipcover. It's, just that. The regular edition. Next up is another Criterion. Let's see. Yeah, this is the last Criterion. Actually, I have. It's James Caan in Thief, directed by Michael Mann. Yeah, it also has Robert Prosky, Willie Nelson. Yeah, Willie Nelson's in this. And it's produced by Jerry Bruckheimer. It's an early Jerry Bruckheimer, actually. I think it's before Flashdance and Days of Top Gun and all that stuff. Next one, this is one that you see all the time in bargain bins. Three Amigos. I never picked it up, but yeah, Three Amigos. And speaking of Chevy Chase, here's the 30th anniversary edition to National Lampoon's Vacation. Classic comedy. And this is a pure upgrade. I even kept my little insert there. And it's War Games. Yeah, the 30th anniversary edition to the classic 80s movie. I even put my DVD in there, so. But the Blu-ray has a lot more features than the DVD had. The DVD only had the trailer. So, yeah, significant upgrade. Next up, we got Weird Science. Classic John Hughes comedy. Probably his most over-the-top movie. Because you think about John Hughes, he never really made a movie like this, where there's a fantasy element and, it's still a coming of age story, but there's a lot of special effects and pretty special effects heavy for a John Hughes movie. Next up is The Wolverine. I have yet to see this. People think that they're either hit or miss with this movie. But yeah, Wolverine. There's some people say that X-Men Origins Wolverine was better. I don't know. I'll have to look at this and see. And I upgraded my copy of Ang Lee's Hulk, which I don't think is that bad, really. The only thing I really have a problem with, or there's two things really, is I don't like the editing style that they used, and I don't like the 45 minutes of backstory. And that was kind of pointless, really. Next movie, I've been looking for this for a long time. I've been wanting to see this. Soylent Green. I've been wanting to see this for a long time. And I finally found a place that had it. But yes, Soylent Green. Next is the digibook to Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned How to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb, directed by Stanley Kubrick. Classic Kubrick here. And Peter Sellers, George C. Scott, who else is it? Slim Pickens, Keenan Wynn. And yeah, that's about it. Next up, Robin Hood Men in Tights. Got some funny stuff. Funny movie. It's not the best Mel Brooks movie, but, funny. Next up, the John Carpenter flick, Big Trouble in Little China. There you go. Kurt Russell, Kim Cattrall. And the rest are DVDs here. We got 4 film favorites of kids' sports from Warner Brothers and New Line Cinema. It's got these 4 films in it. Little Big League, which I had not seen in a long time since actually I was a kid. Little Giants, that's the main reason why I got it. And Surf Ninjas and Hometown Legend. So pretty decent. Downside is most of the DVDs are in full screen. Maybe that's the only way that Warner Brothers released them. I don't know. But yeah. Next up is the toy. Found this really cheap. Again, downside, full screen. I don't know why. And the last DVD, 48 Hours. Yeah, the Eddie Murphy, Nick Nolte movie. Of course, I bought this at a store that sells a lot of used DVDs and Blu-rays, so yeah, I don't think it's a decent find. I mean, $1.99, you know. And last, but certainly not least, the Ten Commandments box set. Now, I'm not going to open this because I already did an unboxing video. If you have not seen that, I will attach it to the description down below so you can actually watch me unbox this thing, because there's a lot of swag. A lot of cool swag. So there you go. There's the haul for this time around. Got a lot of stuff. I don't know what the count was for all the titles, but there's quite a few there. So stay tuned. Me and a WWE Colts fan are going to be doing a video here within the next week or so. I'm not going to reveal what that video is, because it's kind of a special video that I don't see anybody else doing. I will say this, it's a movie that's quite reviewed on YouTube, but it's just reviewed. It's never done the way that we are going to be doing it, so stay tuned for that. So from me to you, see you later.